Are you trying to figure out the best stats to give each character in the Super Mario RPG remake? In this guide, I'll show you the most optimal builds for your party, as well as some fast leveling strategies to help you level up your game. See what I did there? For this guide, I'll go in order of when each character joins your party. But before we begin, I need to explain that each time you level, one of the bonus stats you have will have an extra added bonus. You can tell this by looking at the magic or physical bonus. If the bonus is more than +1 on the attack, then that is the extra bonus stat at this level. HP is sometimes hard to tell because each character gains a different amount per level. So, if both magic and physical are only getting one added attack stat, you know the extra bonus is on HP that level. Now let's get started with the star of the show, Mario! Mario, as to be expected, will be the first character of what will end up being a 5-person party. He is also the only character that has to be part of your active party at all times, which isn't bad news because he is super strong and well-rounded. For his stats, there are 2 solid paths to take. The first would be to just boost his physical. Mario has a very strong physical attack. Once he gets the lazy shell, he's going to be absolutely destroying everything in sight. You will rarely find the need to use his spells throughout the course of the main story. To go this route, you'll want to put all his bonus stats into physical. Although whenever HP gets the extra boost, go for that for a bit of added survivability. This is the build that I normally use in the SNES version of the game as well. However, in the Switch version of the game, you might want to consider using a well-balanced build instead. There's an endgame to the Switch version that needs to be considered. The endgame will contain enemies that are pretty much completely resistant to physical attacks, or otherwise weak to Mario's specials. For that reason, I recommend a balanced build. Each level, pick whatever stat has the added bonus on, equally boosting Mario's physical, magic, and HP. He will still be able to wall up enemies with his physical attacks, but this will give him more options for the end game. Also, you get some added magic defense, which is super helpful later on. The main story shouldn't be too much of a problem no matter what build you pick, especially if you follow my leveling tips that I'm going to share with you towards the tail end of this video. Next up is Mallow. Mallow is absolutely useless when it comes to physical attack. Just ignore that stat entirely, pumping up his magic and throw in HP every 3rd level when it has the extra bonus stat. Mallow was quite useless in the first game and is only mildly better in this one. He is key for leveling at lightning speeds at the beginning and mid-game. Other than that, I really only use him to scan enemies for their weaknesses using his Thought Peek spell. Now we're off to meet the wizard, the wonderful wizard of the game, Geno. Geno is an absolute powerhouse. He has some of my favorite spells in the game, one of which can boost the power of all your party members, allowing you to absolutely stomp the competition. He, like Mario, is very well balanced, and although you can make the argument for just boosting his magic, I think it's best to balance his bonuses as well, as his physical is just as stellar as his magic, so just copy the same formula as Mario, boosting whatever stat receives the extra bonus that level, equally boosting his physical, HP, and magic. If you're liking this video so far, consider leaving a like or subscribing. It really helps a small channel like mine get their foot into the door of YouTube, and it also triggers my brain to fill me with a healthy dose of dopamine. Soon after Geno, you will be joined by the big bad of the Koopa clan himself, Bowser. He is already stacked the moment he joins your party with a super strong physical attack and can withstand quite the beating. However, his spells can be absolutely crucial towards the end of the game. He can not only do lots of area of effect and single target damage with his abilities, but he can also poison and fear his foes, which proves super useful in certain situations. So for him, just boost his magic, throwing in HP whenever it receives the bonus. Last but certainly not least, as she is pretty much always in my active party, Princess Peach. Peach, in my opinion, is the best character in the game. She has super powerful healing spells that not only keep your party alive, but also heals any status effects like poison and fear. Also, reverts you back to your true form if you've been turned into a mushroom or a scarecrow. She also has a powerful area of effect spell and some not so bad physical attacks. Better than Mallow anyways. So for her, you're going to want to stack her magic stat, giving her HP whenever it gets the extra bonus. On top of that, if you give her the lazy shell armor later in the game, she will be damn near impossible to kill, allowing her to keep your party in tip-top fighting shape and making this game an absolute breeze to get through. Follow these guidelines and you should have no issues beating this game. If you have already spent some points on stats that don't match these builds, don't worry. It won't make a huge impact on your game. These builds will just give you a slight edge on the more difficult bosses. Now, if you really want to obliterate any enemy that stands in your way, you're going to need to max out your character levels as soon as possible. Here are the fast and simple leveling strategies I recommend that will skyrocket your experience points right from the beginning of the game. First off, be sure to attack every enemy that you come across. This is a common strategy for most RPGs, but there are more important reasons for you to do it in this game. Each time you enter a battle, you have the chance to get a special enemy. You can tell you have found one by their yellow name, and also they are labeled special enemy. These are slightly more difficult to defeat than their normal counterparts, but when you defeat them, you will get extra coins, extra experience, and a frog coin. These frog coins will play a key part in leveling up fast, but more on that in a bit. Pretty quickly into the game, you'll start receiving flower tabs and flower boxes from treasure chests and some side quests. These increase your max flower points, but they will also fully restore them when used. So don't use these right away. They are important for the next leveling tip. Not too far into the game, you will meet Mallow, and he will join your party as you chase down Croco to recover Mallow's stolen coin. Buy some honey syrup if you can, and head after that purple dino. Now continue attacking every enemy in sight, but now use Mallow's Thunderbolt spell to attack all enemies at once. As you do this, keep an eye on your flower points. If your flower points go below 2 at any point, that is when you're going to want to use your flower tab or box. It will fully restore your FP and you'll be ready to fry more enemies with your Thunder Fury. Pretty quickly, you will outlevel the enemies in the area and start one-shotting everything. This strategy will also gain you coins very fast, which will allow you to stock up on syrup to restore your flower points when you run out of tabs and boxes. There will come a time when Thunderbolt becomes less effective, but by that time your party will be so beefy, you'll be wondering why this game is so easy. But keep attacking everything in sight, building up your experience and frog coin empire. Keep progressing through the game until you get to the seaside town. At the top left of the town, you will find a house where the elder of the town lives. Head upstairs and you will find a frog that will exchange awesome items for frog coins. The item we're interested in is the EXP booster. By now you should have enough coins to get it. Buy it and equip it to Geno. Note that he doesn't need to be in your active party to receive the experience bonus from this accessory. Now head over to the sunken ship and decimate all the enemies there. Being water villains, they are super weak against Mallow's Thunderbolt attack. In no time, Geno will level up to the point that he unlocks his Geno Blast attack. Now that he has that spell, you will never need to use Mallow again. You can attack all enemies with this move and it does much more damage than Mallow's Thunderbolt. Eventually, he'll also get his Geno Flash, which is even deadlier. A disclaimer though, these spells cost quite a bit of flower points. If you manage to save up another 50 frog coins, be sure to get the flower ring from the frog vendor and give it to Geno. This will make all of his spells cost half the amount of FP per cast. I know, right? Super overpowered ring. These strategies should get you well on your way to maxing out your character levels before the end of the game. If you still aren't level 30 by the time you approach the final boss, I would recommend going to this area at the bottom of this pit where you fight the snake boss in the weapons factory. This replica of Spiritovich will keep spawning. Just battle him over and over again. At this point, he should prove to be a pushover. He will continue to provide you with 60 experience points and 50 coins to boot. More if he ends up being a special enemy. Just alternate the EXP booster to your lowest level character and in no time they will all be level 30. You should now have no problem defeating Smithy and returning the ability to make wishes to the people of the Mushroom Kingdom. However, while you're blasting through the game at warp speed, you may miss out on a lot of fun Easter eggs that Nintendo have cleverly placed in the game. If you don't want to miss a thing, check out this video I made on 11 Easter eggs you can find throughout your playthrough of the game. And until next time, keep on questing.